my bad. I saw the way too. Okay, Ocala, how you doing? Okay, so, all right, folks. So, all right. So, before we begin, real quick, what's going to happen is I'm going to bring out our guests. I'm going to have a conversation with them, and then I'll turn it over to you and your questions. We'll probably just go ahead and do a line there. I'll come on down. I'll hold the microphone at all times. Remember, you get one question. You can go back to the end of the line, try again, another one. Okay. Questions have to be related to both of our guests. Don't have to be related to Star Wars, but you have to include all of them. And no requests, no no high fives, no hugs, or sing happy birthday and any of that stuff. So that being said, y'all ready for this? Alrighty, our first guest. She is an actress whose body of work includes Castlevania, The Mentalist, SEAL Team, and Supernatural. Today, she joins us to discuss the role of the ultra-orthodox armorer. Please welcome Emily Swallow! And next...
Hi, everybody. Sorry.
No, please. Hi. And next, she is an actress whose body of work cascades across several fandoms, including Battlestar Galactica, Another Life, Robot Chicken, and Longmire. Today, she joins us to discuss the animated and live-action role of Bo-Katan Kryze. Please welcome Katee Sackhoff!
Both representing Tate, who is still trying to get here.
Yes.
Yes. So if you have any questions for Tate, we're going to answer them.
Yeah. Whether or not we know the truth.
Right.
It's true. Hi.
Hi, ladies.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect when I walked around that corner.
I know.
Thanks for coming out, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Really? Thanks.
Look at all these good-looking folks over here. Nice armor.
I love this.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to Ocala.
Thanks.
So glad to have you here. Your first time in the area?
No, I grew up in Jacksonville.
I know. Yeah, I know you're in Jacksonville. Yes.
So, Duval. I have not been down here, I think, since I was a kid, but I'm familiar.
Very good, very good. Well, thanks for joining us here this weekend. And you know what? I've heard these stories, but I would like the audience to hear this too. I would love to hear how you both came involved in these fantastic roles. And Katee, that would start with you actually in the animated form for Clone Wars.
It's quite a simple story. Dave Filoni was a fan of Battlestar Galactica.
And who isn't?
He called up the creators of that and asked them what I was like to work with, and luckily I was not an a-hole, and then they offered me the role, and I don't believe that the role was ever meant to be what she is today. I think that they sort of wanted this character to be there. I don't know if they knew at the time that it was Satine's sister. I don't know what he knew, but she just sort of kept evolving. And I think she kept evolving because she's based on Dave Filoni's wife. So that's job security, because he can't kill her. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would do it. And then the armorer.
Yeah, I always love when people say, like, how did you decide to do Star Wars? Because this audition was like one of, I don't know, 100 I had that year, and I knew very little about what it was. I knew it was for this brand new streaming platform called Disney Plus. And nobody knew if that was going to be a big deal, but I guess it did okay. And I knew that it was possibly Star Wars. I knew it was a character whose face you wouldn't see, but I didn't know why. I do remember in the audition, which was very simple, it was just me in the room with the casting assistant. I remember I did have to say, "This is the way," and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. That seems profound." But yeah, it was just a regular old audition, and then every step after that, I was like, "What is this?" Like, I went to my costume fitting, and they were like doing a cast of my torso.
You still didn't know?
No, I hadn't. I was standing there, and
was
like,
there a code name that because they usually like give cutesy code names for these.
I know it was for season 1. It was Huckleberry. I don't remember when I found that out. But yeah, I was like in a plaster of Paris cast when somebody finally said, "Oh, you haven't seen the the costume, have you? And I was like, no, I don't even know what we're doing. And then they showed me a picture of the armor, and I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's like Katee said, I think I know that they create some of these characters. Sometimes they sort of have an idea of where they're going, but they don't always, and they trust that. They trust that the story's going to grow. And I know originally the armorer was going to die at the end of season 1 because she was going to sacrifice herself in that fight with the stormtroopers, but then they wisened up and decided she was better than stormtroopers, and that was no problem, and I'm very grateful for that.
As are we.
Thanks.
Too. And then, Katee, we boomerang back to you. When did you get the overture to return to the character in live action form?
So I think it was a 2018 or 2019 celebration. It was the one that was in Chicago. Dave was there, and I had heard loosely of Mandalorian. I had no idea what it was other than like it was a Mandalorian, of course, but still didn't know anything about it. And I went up to Dave, and you know, Dave and I would consider us friends. And so I went up to him and I just decided to take the piss out of him. And I was like, so this Mandalorian thing, Bo's still alive, right? And he was like, yeah. And I went, okay. And does she, timeline-wise, does it fit? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, interesting. Interesting. And then I like left it at that. And about, I don't know how much longer it was, maybe a couple months, 6 months later, I got a phone call to sit down with Jon Favreau. And I was like, what? Okay, weird. And went in, signed an NDA, like, you know, and walked in and like sat across from Jon Favreau and was like, what am I doing here? And then he like walked in, and it took me about 20 minutes to realize that he was asking me if I wanted to play Bo-Katan, and my face was already in all the previs for like, or the storyboards for the show, and I was like, oh my God. And then he actually looked at me and he said, so is this something that you would be interested in? And I think I hit the table, and like expletives came out of my mouth. And then on the way home, I called my husband and broke my NDA and said, I think
Spousal privilege.
No, yes, exactly. And I said, I think I'm gonna be in Star Wars, like live action Star Wars.
You're already in Star Wars, honey.
Yeah, so that's sort of how it happened.
Oh my goodness, what a ride. You have a little bit about me too. I haven't asked you about this too. What's your take on Favreau? As like I said, because he seems to be this mad genius that kind of puts his thumbprint on everything, but it's a really remarkable responsibility that he's done, and he's really just taken this in the direction it really needed to go, at least in my opinion.
I always tell people, I think, like, it's undeniable that he's a creative genius, but what is so remarkable about working with him is that it feels like he's like the best team coach you could have. Like he's always present, even if he's not on set. You know, like sometimes we'll be shooting something and someone will be like, John's calling, he needs to talk to you. But he just sets the tone so beautifully because, you know, we're involved with something that has a lot of special effects, and I think that story could get lost in that. And he makes sure that the story is the most important, that everyone's being heard. I mean, the amount of trust that he has in all the actors and in all of the craftspeople who are working on the show is remarkable. And I trust him completely. And because of that, it means even more that he is willing to say, okay, let's talk about this scene. Let's work this out. What are some other ideas? What do you think? And it really is like everyone, it feels like, is on an equal level. And he really is like the best coach. He's such a motivator and such a unifier. And then it seems like everything he touches turns to gold. Or Besco.
Yeah, yes. This is the way.
I mean, I can't answer it any better than that.
Yeah.
He really is. He comes to set every morning and he does these like sermons, where that's what we called them, where for like 30 minutes he like talks about the day and the scene and what we're going to accomplish and what the goal is and where we've been and where we're going and what he wants us to keep in mind, and he motivates everyone, and then he goes back to his office because he's juggling so many different balls in the air at every second of the day. I'm so intimidated by him. But he like is the type of person that calls you into his office just to give you a pep talk. Like, he's really awesome.
And I think him being an actor himself, I think it's a lot of that. It's so wonderful to work with a director that comes from, who's been on that side of the camera, and then when they transition on over, they do a better job of communicating as opposed to commanding, as some directors are known to have. I won't mention names. For each of you, what was the craziest day you had on a Star Wars set?
Oh gosh.
I know there must have been some doozies, but again, when you're working with this type of level of costumes, this level of special effects, this level of just everything, there must have been some doozies.
Like, of all of them?
Out of all of them.
Oh my god.
I feel like you've talked about your knee sliding and running and
so much fun. I mean, that was a really cool day. And like, so, there's in Star Wars, because it's such a huge beast, like they don't want you to get hurt while you're doing a stunt. So like, you have to fight for the things you want to do. And you're like, no, I want to do the whole fight, or no, I want to do this, or I want to do that. And there was this fight, and I was watching the stunt double, and she did this like wicked knee slide, and I was like, and they were like, so what we'll do is we'll pause the fight, we'll bring in your stunt double, she'll do this knee slide, then we'll pause again, then we'll bring you back in. And I was like, no, you guys, I'm doing the knee slide. And the knee slide came at the same time that the shield comes up and then the gun comes out, and they were like, it's a lot of movements. And I was like, I have been practicing knee slides on my kitchen floor since I was 5 years old with dish towels attached to my legs. I have got this. And then the stunt team put down wax on the floor, which I did not realize. They powder, they've got wax that when you slide, you don't stick to the stage. It's powdered wax, it's crazy. So they sprinkled that, and they were like, just so you know, it's gonna be a little slippery. And I was like, okay. And so we did the first one, and I just kept going. I was like, this is amazing! But I love that. It was amazing. I ripped my entire suit. The knees were busted out. Like, it was awesome. And they were like, we're gonna go again. I was like, yes. And then the next day, I went home that night and told my husband, and he was like, your knees are gonna be beat up tomorrow. And I was like, no, it's fine. And I woke up the next morning, and my knees were so black and blue, but I was like, oh my God. I literally looked like somebody had been hitting me with baseball bats. It was so bad, but worth it.
I feel like my craziest day was a very Florida day, because it was when we were shooting the first episode of season 3, when the giant like gator, turtle, dragon pause for a moment. How did they not know that this massive creature was living in this little pond? Whatever, logic. So, he interrupted the ceremony, and I also, one of the things I really appreciate about our stunt team is that they're so encouraging if we want to do stuff. And I also try to know my limits, because I don't want to be the actor that's like, no, I can do it, and like holding up the whole day. And so there was Jesse Graff, I remember, was my stunt double that day. And so we're outside, it was hot, and all of you who are dressed in armor today, you know what that's like. And we're in sand, and we're getting in the water, and it was crazy because and as the armor, I feel like this is my fault. There were so many armor pieces just falling off of people. And I also had a very cool slidey thing in the sand that Jessie was doing, and then she taught me how to do it, which felt cool. And it was just we were wearing wetsuits under our armor because we had to go in the water. And so by the end of the day, it was sweat and just being in wet clothing all day with sand all over you, and it was hot, but it felt so good. It was so amazing, and it is so great when you get to do stuff like that, because a remarkable amount of the time that we spend is inside with the volume, maybe not even doing very much. So it's very satisfying when you do get to just jump in and get really dirty. It's like you're a kid. So it's great.
Nice, very nice. For what's been the best thing to come out of this gig for both of you?
I mean, the fandom is amazing. It's just unprecedented. I thought that Battlestar Galactica has a big fan base, as does Supernatural, and I thought I was ready for it. And then you enter into the Star Wars world, and like, it's just, it's unlike anything. It's massive. Every country around the world has a massive Star Wars fan contingency, and they always come out to support, which is so cool.
Yeah. And I mean, it's 40 plus years now. It's incredible, and it's so special to me to get to play these characters who, especially I think because of the relationship that Bo and the Armor wound up having, that to get to be these women who helped bring the Mandalorians together, and to get to portray a female character, and it's not a big deal that she's a woman, like in this position, and to see what that means to people. And I love getting to see like I see a little Bo back there. I love seeing, to all the adults, you look great in your cosplay, but seeing kids dressed as the Armor is so rad. And it's just, the place that it holds in people's hearts is really special. And getting to meet, grandparents who watch it with their grandkids. Because it's sort of the myth of our culture. It's like the Greeks had their mythological stories. I feel like Star Wars is like our American myth.
And the great thing is, it's still going.
Yeah.
We know all the Greek myths, we know all the Norse myths and stuff like that, but Star Wars just keeps on going. And the great thing about the streaming format has done is it's been able to go in a plenitude of directions. And I always tell everybody, it's a buffet now. It's okay. Maybe you don't like this, but it's totally okay to keep loving this.
So much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why, on behalf of myself and this audience, I thank you both. I thank you for your talents and your professionalism, and for the performances you brought to these roles, and your collective body of work for both of you. You've done fantastic work, both in fandom and in non-fandom related projects, and it's been a delight. And I've told you before, I love Longmire. We just always wedged between your two space shows.
I know. I needed a break, and I needed to exist on land for a while.
So me too. Well, ladies, thank you so much. I'm gonna go on and take some of their questions, and let's see what they've got. Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and do a line. Okay, whoever goes first, I'll give you 2 pieces of candy. All right, come on over.
Oh, nice.
Hi, what's your name?
Kiana,
Gianna, what do you want to know?
what's your favorite scene?
Ooh, favorite scene.
Do you have one?
I don't necessarily have like a favorite scene, but I think that one of the scenes that stands out to me as being one of my favorites was when, I almost said Starbuck, sorry, when Bo-Katan was walking with Grogu, talking to him about how the Mandalorians and the Jedi and all of this, backstory. I really loved that. I loved that it was like a quiet moment before the storm with the crone. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, mine is also a pretty low-key scene, because so many of them were so fun to shoot, but I love the moment when I told or asked you to take off your helmet. Because there were so many people that assumed that when these two characters came together, like they were gonna have this, knockdown, drag-out fight. And there was so much riding on that moment, and you didn't know if they trusted each other, you didn't know if the Armor was setting Bo up. It was such a pivotal moment, and to have that just in that quiet space of the Forge, and then to walk out with you helmetless and, having Paz be all like, what's going on here? And everyone looking. It was just such a great thing to set up the rest of that season, and the fact that they did work together and that everyone joined forces. I love that it happened in that quiet moment.
Do you have a favorite scene?
I don't know.
See that's it's a little hard when somebody
Hard
asks
to
you.
choose
All right, there you go.
favorites.
Great question, though. Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Ava,
Eva. What do you want to know?
what was your favorite part about playing your character?
Favorite part of playing your character?
My hammer and all the things I could do with it, because I learned a lot of blacksmithing, and it was so satisfying to learn something like tangible, and I've continued with that. But I also love that she she never picks up a blaster or a saber or anything. She just has her hammer and her tongs, and she uses them for many different purposes.
Making salad.
Making salad, yeah, those tongs come in handy for salad. It's true.
I think it was the experience overall, you know, like I have so many good memories, not only like during filming and actually like that are Star Wars related, but then actually like personal life as well. My daughter was born in the middle of season 3. So that was amazing. And she was like, I have pictures of her on set when she's like 3 months old.
And you were completely sleep deprived.
I was so sleep deprived. I was exhausted. I had like a lazy boy in my room that had a crib. It was pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm tired now. It hasn't gone away. But so that was really great too. Like I can see her on set, like talking to the droids and stuff. It was very cute.
Great question. Thank you. Hi. What's your name?
My name is Juliana. So at the end of the Mandalorian most recent season, we find out that Mandalorians don't have people and the fortress we lit. What can you guys say, without getting in trouble, about the future of Mandalore and the Mandalorians?
Ooh.
That's a very good question.
It
That's
is
what I always say.
such a good question.
But Katee and I actually recently did, she did a live taping of her podcast at Rebel ScumCon. And we did a little improv where we took audience suggestions about things that might be happening on Mandalore. So
Yeah, there's a dance hall.
there's a dance hall,
You know,
have to a karaoke bar,
Have to have.
There's a Buc-ee's now on Mandalore, which I think probably has like mythosaur jerky that you can buy.
Probably.
There were, one of the audience suggestions was that there were dead babies floating in the living waters, so that's a mystery that should be solved.
It went dark real quick, y'all.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. So there's a lot to explore on Mandalore.
Buc-ee's has the cleanest meditation chambers you've ever seen. And there's room for everyone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Great question. Thank you. Hi. What's your name?
My name is Rod. Hi.
Hi.
So as you kind of got comfortable with roles, Katee, you've obviously been doing Bo-Katan a lot longer, but was there ever a moment during the Mandalorian writing where you felt you needed to push back, where the writing wasn't in the direction you thought the character was going?
Oh.
You know what's interesting is that it really was such a collaborative thing with John. Whenever you had questions, whenever something like didn't make sense, he was always available to sit down with and talk through it. And so every director was.
Yeah.
And so I did, during season 3, spent a lot of time with John saying, well, how is this possible? Why is she doing this? What is happening here? And then Dave as well. Because Bo is very different in season 3, and that redemption arc that she was on was something we wanted to hit perfectly. As my daughter says, there's no such thing as perfect, Mommy. We wanted to fit in just the right way. And so I spent a lot of time talking to them, but I wouldn't say push back. I think collaborate for sure, though.
Yeah, there was never a time, I don't ever remember seeing something that made me go like, oh my gosh, she would never do this. And I appreciate that they were so open to talking about it. My one worry, honestly, about season 3, when they said that I was going to be in more episodes than the first season, I was a little worried because I feel like we benefit so much from not knowing too much about the armor, so I was worried it might be overexposure, but I also really like, getting to be in more, so I didn't push back on that, but that was like the one moment that I was a little hesitant because I didn't know if it would be too much, but I think that they held that balance really nicely, and there's still a whole lot that none of us know about the armor, so I think that they found that balance.
Scariest thing, I do scratch track work for a certain gold robot, a certain protocol droid for Disney, and they had me do a line reading and said like, oh, the Ewoks worship me as a god, and I said, do you really mean God? Because in Return of the Jedi he says, oh, I can't impersonate a deity with that English lilt, and then I suddenly realized how much I had stepped in it, and there was the pause, and they were talking, and then finally after the most nerve-wracking 30 seconds of my life, like, Okay, go ahead and say date. Okay, God. So it's good to work with people that are receptive, but it's not a good rule to have in professional acting. I do. So, hi, what's your name?
Rin. So I was wondering, you mentioned the breaking DNA with your spouse. Would you say that is a...
Speaking NDA or DNA?
I am really tired.
Tom
NDA.
Brain.
So among married couples, that's okay.
Would you say that is a common practice in the industry?
Oh my gosh, yes, more and
You mean
more.
breaking NDAs in general or with your spouse?
Oh,
Oh yeah. I think it's expected.
yeah.
Like you're allowed to tell one person. You know what I mean? Yeah. So my dad is on Facebook. He's probably friends with you all. And my dad has to sign NDAs because he doesn't understand that you can't share things. So he came to Longmire at the end when we were filming, and I made them make him sign a fake NDA. Just so he wouldn't post anything online. So, yeah, they're very powerful.
Walt finally gets a cell phone.
Yeah, exactly. Wah, wah.
All right, well, there you go. Hopefully you'll never, well, hopefully you'll have something interesting that you'll sign one. You'll find out for yourselves. Hi, what's your name?
Emmanuel. First of all, much respect to you both, great actors.
Thank you.
I already had a good question, so I guess I'll just think of one.
You got this.
So, your two characters, is there any teases of a future of them two coming together again, of working together, of their conflict being there, or anything you can give us with that? Or
I wound up,
They'd have to marry you to tell you information like that.
well, I wound up giving Bo a new hairstyle at the new beauty salon that's on Mandalore. What was it called?
True.
It was like a fox wolf, I don't know,
Oh, that's right. It had a
audience suggestion.
wolf fox.
Yeah.
Wolf cat? Something like that. But it was a salon.
Because that's on Mandalore now.
Yeah.
Because Mandalorians have janky hair.
They do.
They have constant helmet head.
You take it off and you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
So we're developing itty bitty teeny weeny Ugnots to go inside the helmet. And they're helping us, make mini versions of them, but like droids that are in your helmet and making your hair coiffed at all times.
Yeah.
We're learning a lot here today, aren't we? Hey, what's your name?
Hello, I'm Zach Jackson. I would like to know if you, unfortunately, as Bo-Katan, were not Mandalore, who would you guys choose for Mandalore?
Oh, to like have
To be the leader, right?
To be in charge.
Right.
I would choose Pelimoto because I think it would be absolute chaos, and also because selfishly, like my dream is to do stuff with Amy Sedaris. I mean, so yeah, I want to set Peli loose as. Yeah, why not? We're making new rules now. Because I think she'd have fun at Buc-ee's.
She would have fun at Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
And they'd have to perm her all the time. Just re-perm.
She probably runs the hair
She
salon
does.
on Mandalore.
She does run the hair salon. She's constantly running around in like those foam thingies to keep her
Yes.
hair. Yes.
Nice, good one. Thank you. Good. Hey, hey, what's your name?
Mila.
Ayla. Well, Ayla, round of applause for Ayla. And what was your name?
Rory Smart.
Right, and come on over. We got this three awesome female representations
Yes.
of Star Wars there right here. So
Oh, you've got a balloon dartsaber?
I know, right?
Is our balloon twister in here? I met him earlier. He brought me a balloon hammer. That's so fun.
Nice. So what's your question?
What was your favorite season to play?
Ooh. Oi. I'm torn. Because season 2 was just like super fun and it was brand new and I got to come in and be super cool and then leave with no pressure. Season 3, I was there all the time, and so I built up like consistency, and then got to work with Emily and Brendan Wayne like a ton, and I loved that as well. And so I'm gonna say season 3, just because like we got to know a lot more about Bo.
Yeah, season 3 for me too, because I felt like season 1. It was like the shock and awe of the fact that I was doing this, and I didn't quite, they didn't tell me very much at all. In season 3, I guess they trusted me a little bit more, or they just gave up, and so when I asked for scripts, they were like, okay, yeah, you can have them. And it did feel so good to be more integrated in sort of mapping out the season and getting to hang out with more characters, honestly, because I spent all my time in my forge in season 1. I never even got to go to the volume. So I loved season 3, and there's so many moments from that season because we were there so much, where we were just like sleep deprived and delirious, and we made up songs, and it was like a slumber party when you feel like you can't possibly stay awake anymore, but you don't want to go to sleep, and you don't really know what you're saying or doing, and it's just fun.
That's like all of season 3 for me.
Good one. Thank you. Hey, what's your name? What you got, Abe?
So, do you keep the armor or do you give it back to Disney?
Oh yeah, Disney does not let us keep that.
Disney does not play. No. I kind of feel like it's a good sign, like in my mind, like if they won't let me steal something, it means I'm coming back because they need it. So the moment I say to someone at a convention, when they're like, did you get to take anything? And I'm like, I have my whole suit. It's a bad sign. So it's good right now.
Yeah. I have a suit of armor that a fan made me. The same fan who is a friend as well now, but he first made my dog an armorer cosplay, and now I have one that's my size too.
Nice. Great question. Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
Rory Sparks. Unfortunately, I'm not a woman, by the way, so... anyways, what would you say your favorite vacation spot in the Mandalorian sector is?
Oh.
I mean, I really liked that beach we were on until the gator dragon turtle came out.
Before that happened, I mean, a lawn chair and like some sort of like beverage brought to you by a droid would have been really nice.
Yeah, it was very pleasant.
You could have been fanned by Timothy Oliphant. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a real good day.
Where would you like to vacation in the Mandalorian universe?
So Concord Dawn, not because it's actually good, but because it looks cool, especially Rebels. Take me there, please.
You can get some good Instagram photos there. Yeah.
There you go.
Totally.
There, red one, of course, right? Hey, what's your name?
Jonathan. If you could be any person in the Star Wars universe besides a Mandalorian,
Jar Jar Binks. Yeah. Try so hard.
Yeah.
Just tries so hard. And I appreciate the A for effort.
I think being Han Solo for a day would be amazing because he just gets away with everything.
There you go. All right, our last question. I already closed the line. I'm sorry. What's your name?
John. Can you talk about your first introduction to Star Wars? What movie or show? How old were you?
Ooh.
I remember Ewoks before I remember anything else because I saw Return of the Jedi when I was little. And I just loved, little furry creatures. So Ewoks were my gateway drug to Star Wars. And then I also thought that Princess Leia was really cool. And I wanted to be able to do my hair like hers, but they didn't have YouTube tutorials back then, so I never did figure it out.
So you mean like the Ewoks Saturday morning cartoon or those Ewoks live action movies?
First seeing them in the movies, but then, totally getting on board with the cartoons and everything, for sure. And the first time I met an Ewok cosplayer, I lost it. I
have yet to meet an Ewok.
Oh my gosh! Oh, it was amazing. I was a little worried that I might frighten.
Hey, Star Wars cosplayers, come back. We're taking a big picture with our guests, and I want you all to be a part of it. So, Katie, what was your first exposure?
My dad raised me on science fiction. And so it was, I remember seeing Star Wars at a very, very young age and being transported to this different universe and being amazed that something like that could exist in film. And and again, with the Ewoks, just like in love. But I always wanted to be Han Solo. Always. And then I got Starbuck, which was a knockoff.
Yeah. Very true, very true.
Well played.
Thank you.
Indeed. What's coming up? Any projects you're allowed to share with us? And what's going on with your podcast, for those who may not know about it?
So the Sackhoff show is still continuing, which is cool. I think that we're in the process right now of figuring out, so I've never seen Battlestar Galactica. And so I'm gonna do like a companion watch thing on YouTube as well, which will exist on the Sackhoff Show's YouTube channel. So I'm excited for that.
Your version or the original?
No, I have no interest in the original.
Okay.
But you've never watched your...
No, God, I lived it. Like I never felt like the need, and we were working so much that I didn't have time to watch it while we were going, so I just never watched it. And either is my husband, so I thought, well, this is kind of fun, so we might do that. I think it'll be really cool. And then I just finished the new Carrie for Amazon, so they're remaking Carrie as a TV show, so super excited about that. Also very big NDA, so I can't tell you anything.
Okay, all right.
I shot this movie last year that I think might finally be seeing the light of day. It's completely different from The Armor, and I dance in it. Ridiculously, but it's premiering at the Austin Film Festival. It's called Forelock, and it's a comedy about a guy who sort of looks like Superman. So hopefully you'll be able to see that soon. And I'm actually about to go start rehearsals for a play on Monday up in New York. So I'm excited to do that. So if anyone finds themselves in New York in late October, November, December, come see.
Very nice. And one final question. Would you like to take a picture with this wonderful audience?
Yes.
All right, everybody. All right, so. Okay, here's what I want to do first. First, I want to have all of our cosplayers up on the front here. I want to invite all of our Star Wars cosplayers. I want you in the front here, and then everybody else, come on in behind.
Yeah.
Turn around, guys. We're gonna face this way. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. And then. All right. Come on in. 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 And everybody else, go ahead and stand on up, and everybody else do. We usually do pretty good about getting everybody in on one of these. Now, if you're looking directly at our rears, then they can't get you in the cameras. So. All right, everybody, on the count of three, give us a "This is the way." 1, 2, 3.
That was good. Y'all sucked anyways.
One more time. 1, 2, 3.
All right, much better.
All right. Thank you all so very much. Great questions. Thank you, and thank you, cosplayers, for sharing all your talents with us today. This is wonderful. These amazing ladies are back at their tables a little bit. Stop them by. They got a lot of neat stuff.